And we're live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is just a random live stream. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the live thing to come up. Oh. Okay. This might take a little while, but I'm waiting for the thing to pop up that gives you the go like that your stream is on YouTube. And I can't find it. Okay, whatever. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. And today I got my hair cut. Not that I'm not gonna grow it out, I am, but I just I needed to get one for the sake of the fact that I was starting to look like Mufasa from The Lion King with my hair pushed back, so I needed a haircut so I could, look something, not look like Mufasa. So anyway, last night on Real Time with Bill Maher, Milo Yiannopoulos was a guest and a panelist, I think. I didn't see the panelist part, but I did see the guest part. Here are my opinions on specifically the interview between Maher and Yiannopoulos. It went pretty well, except my only beef with Bill Maher was that he was acting as if, he was like the smartest guy in the room. And that irked me a little because Milo is pretty smart. He really is. I really like Milo on a lot of things, but there are some things I disagree with him on. Some things I vigorously disagree with him on. But a lot of the time, though, Milo was just speaking honesty about human nature. He points out several times how different men and women are on a psychological level. I mean, physical level, he doesn't need to bring that up. But on a psychological level, men and women are different. And that's what Milo likes to bring up in a lot of his lectures, is that people tend to think men and women are the same. Well, yes, men and women are both human. No, men and women are not the same on a psychological level. Men and women are completely different. And this is why I like Milo. Milo speaks truth. And people don't like the truth. People are afraid of the truth. People are afraid of what Milo has to say because they know it's true. And Bill Maher, that Milo is very silly in the way he's like open and lively about his opinions and all that. I mean, he's controversial, but he's not the type of person to purposely be controversial. He just happens to be controversial. This is why Bill Maher referred to Milo as a young gay, lively Christopher Hitchens, because Christopher Hitchens, who did not intend to be controversial, just anytime the name Hitchens arose, automatically the claims of sexism and as I said just before this, had a glitch. If everybody was born 100% the same, there was no difference in culture, everybody would be an American. But there are people born in China, people born in Japan, people born in Pakistan. Everybody's different culturally. Yes, while everybody in America is a different skin color and comes from a different culture, everybody that's born in America is an American. But it doesn't mean that we in America are similar to those who are in China. And that this is the stuff that people are afraid to talk about, is that everybody comes from a different culture. You can't be afraid of the truth like that. Look, look, as someone who's against bigotry, I like different cultures. I really do. I like the fact that different cultures make up what America is. I like that. But I recognize that there are different cultures that make up America. It's not just white America. It's not just Black America. It's just not Italian America. It's not Hispanic America. It's America made up of all different cultures. This is why we're a melting pot. And I think that's the most honest to God truth that people seem to forget. We're a melting pot of different cultures. You have the white nationalists that think America is only meant for white people. You have the Black nationalists who think America is meant for Black people. But yet the people in the middle, like me, are like, yeah, both your sides are wrong. America is meant for everybody that wants to come here for a better life. Anyway, so you gotta lay down the basic foundation principles and facts here. America is built on the idea that America is made for everybody, regardless of skin color, regardless of gender, regardless of culture. Stuff Milo talks about. And people are afraid to hear it because they know he's right. Anyway, you know what the funny thing is? Bill Maher talks about the same stuff Milo does. But the difference between Bill Maher and Milo is that Milo is a gay conservative, while Bill Maher is a liberal. So when Bill Maher says the same stuff Milo does, everybody applauds him. But when Milo says it, he gets booed and is called a racist, even though he's saying essentially the same exact thing Bill Maher is. They're on the same side of the same issues, but they're not listening to each other. And that's the other problem I had with that interview between them, was that while Milo was listening to Bill Maher and while Bill Maher was listening to Milo, look, as much as I like Milo, it seems as though he was blocking out everything Bill Maher was saying just as much as Bill Maher was blocking out almost everything Milo was saying. They were blocking out each other for the most part. And that kind of irritated me a little about Milo, because Milo was very open-minded, and so was Bill Maher on a lot of things. And these both open-minded men were kind of, you know, being a little childish towards each other. Not that they were completely closed off from each other, because they weren't, but if you really watch the interview, like really pay attention, like the facial expressions Milo and Bill were giving each other were kind of like, I don't like what you said, so therefore I'm blocking that out. And that kind of irritated me about both of them, really, the way they just acted like children towards each other for the most part. But other than that, it was a very nice interview. Milo was being his typical silly self, while speaking truth. And Bill Maher was talking liberal talking points and all that, nothing less than you would expect Bill Maher to do. Anyway, I liked the interview between them. It was actually better than I thought it would be. I thought Bill Maher would be like, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, you're wrong. I thought that would be the interview. But it wasn't. Bill Maher was actually, like I said, very open-minded towards Milo. And Bill Maher likes Milo on the level that he's exactly like Christopher Hitchens. Bill Maher doesn't see the problem with Milo. Look, Milo did join the panel later, and I did hear that everyone was saying, like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you to him. But apparently Bill Maher wasn't doing that. Apparently Bill Maher was closing Milo's mouth. I heard that. I still have yet to see it. But if Bill Maher was putting his hand over Milo's mouth, then he was on a technicality assaulting him. Yeah, that is technically assault. I don't know how. Because to me, assault, though, is when you actually physically hit somebody and hurt them. If you, like, cover somebody's mouth, I don't see how that's assault. But apparently in our federal law in the United States, that's considered assault. I don't know how. Look, if that's considered assault, then every parent that covers their child's mouth whenever they're, being rowdy and all that, then apparently they have to get their children taken away from them then, right? Anyway, what's next? Considered assault? Putting a bippy in a baby's mouth? I mean, seriously, what's the next thing that's going to be considered assault? Covering somebody's mouth isn't assault, even if it's a child. If it's an adult, I don't understand, why an adult would get agitated over it. I could see being annoyed, but agitated to the point where, like, I'm calling the police for assault. I don't understand why adults would get to that point. Agitated to the point, like, annoyed, agitated, that I get. Because if somebody covered my mouth like that, I would be like, yeah, that's annoying, but I'm not going to call the police on you. But, yeah, so you get the point. And, so, anyway, rambling on about that. So this isn't really technically topic-based random hangout. So, I got a question. Anybody watching this live or later on in the day when it's not live? I got a question to ask you. Leave it in the comment section down below. But do you think there's a difference with haircuts and sexuality? I'm curious if you guys really think there is, because I see no difference in a straight guy getting what would technically be considered a gay man's haircut. And I don't see the difference between a gay man getting what would be called a straight man's haircut. I don't see the difference. It's the same thing. I don't see the difference between a black person or a white person getting dreadlocks. I don't see the difference. To me, it's hair. Hair doesn't have a race. Hair doesn't have a sexuality. But apparently, you have people from different cultures and different sexual oriented communities that try to sexualize hair or try to race hair. And it makes no sense to me. Hair is hair. There are people born with red hair, like me. There are people born with black hair, brown hair, blonde hair. You're either one of the four hair colors, or you're a mixture of all four, or maybe you're a mixture of both, and you carry the genes for the other two, or one of the other. And it's hair. It's hair. People can dye their hair. People can shave their hair, buzz their hair, whatever. Hair doesn't have a sexuality. Hair doesn't have a race. Hair is hair. Look, if somebody's gay, they're gay. I'm pansexual. I'm gay and straight. I'm the best of both worlds. But here's the thing, though. Even though I'm gay and straight, I was born that way. I was born that way. I can't help it. I was born that way. People are born in the white community, black community, Hispanic community, you name it. People are born gay and straight. People are born men and women, or intersex, which is very rare, but yes, it can happen. People are born that way. People can dictate their skin color. People can dictate their genetics. People can dictate their gender. People can dictate this stuff. It's biology. It's biology. People can't dictate this stuff. If people could dictate what they would be born as, we would be able to be human chameleons and change our skin color, change our hair color, change our eye color whenever we wanted to, but we're not. We're human beings. That's just the truth. We're human beings, and that's what makes us unique out of all the animals in the animal food chain, is that we've adapted to the way things are now. A lot of our animal ancestors didn't. And that's what makes humans unique. We have to realize that. We have to realize that just because we're born different doesn't mean we're not inhuman, doesn't mean we're subhuman. Just because we're born different, that's what makes us unique out of all of the animals on the animal food chain. Because here's the thing, female lions and male lions, they're the same. Female monkeys and male monkeys, they're the same. Humans are the only type of species that are different. That makes us unique. No human is physically or mentally the same than the other. That's what makes us unique as a evolutionary species. That's what makes us unique. Anyway, those are just my opinions on, hair and human nature and all that. Is that we're different. That makes us unique. We're all different from each other. And when we come together, when we blend our cultures together, that's a very beautiful thing, in my opinion. It really is beautiful to bring all these cultures together. Because when you bring all these cultures together, and when we stop hating each other, when we start loving each other more, when we start, embracing each other, when we start, celebrating each other's holidays and sharing memories and creating new ones and making memories that last a lifetime, that's very beautiful. And what makes, like I said, what makes the human species unique compared to all the other animals in the food chain is that humans aren't really tribal now compared to Neanderthals. If a Neanderthal tribe knew each other, they didn't mingle with another Neanderthal tribe. They fought the other tribe or killed another member of the other tribe. They would never harm their own tribe. They would harm another member of the other Neanderthal tribe. Same thing with cavemen. Same thing, with early Irish, Italian, and Spanish settlers here in America. It was very tribal. We're not tribal anymore. That's the beauty of America and the globe now. No one's really tribal anymore. With the age of social media, everybody can talk to somebody else from a different country and not have the urge to kill that person. That's the beautiful thing about social media and human nature in general. And honestly, I truly, honestly believe that if we stop wars, stop the hatred, if we love each other more and we live in a peaceful world or a peaceful community, let's start with the communities first and then move towards world peace, because world peace will take a long, long time. Community peace, not so much. That's very fast to do. But if everyone would stop hating each other and love each other more, hey, you'll be amazed what we could do together. That was a little long-winded, but it had to get out. So, what's up? What else to talk about? Oh, today is warm out. I don't really like to talk that much about the weather, but today's warm out. But yeah, next couple of days it's going to be warm out, so I might go outside and take a walk. I don't know yet, but I might take a walk. Hopefully the sun for the next couple of days will lighten my hair, because as of now, my hair is lightening due to the lights that are on. And that's the amazing thing about red hair, I'll be honest, is that if you have dark auburn red hair like I do, it looks brown without lights on, but with lights on, it's red. My hair does change a little. It's an auburn, during the spring and summer, but it's also a little mixture of I wouldn't say strawberry blonde mixture, no, but it's more like an orange auburn mixture during the summer and spring. Fall, it starts to go to an true red / auburn, and then in the winter, dark auburn. My hair has seasons along with the globe, apparently. But all redheads are like that. There are redheads who have strawberry blonde during the summer and true red during the winter. There are some redheads who have true red during the summer and strawberry blonde during the winter. Redheads, our hair color changes, or our hair shade changes with the seasons. And I find that very fascinating. Anyway, let's go to some news. Close out YouTube. Let's go to some news. Let's go to the Clinton News Network, CNN. Let's see. John McCain, who I really respect. McCain, dictators get started this way by suppressing free press. Okay. Let's read what he said. Senator McCain slammed President Donald Trump's attacks on the media this weekend by noting dictators get started by suppressing free press. Well, let's look at this line by line. Yes, there are dictators who, yes, do this, who suppress the free press from printing news stories against them. Yes, this is true. But look, this is coming from a guy, and I mentioned this several times, who does not like Donald Trump, who is not remotely crazy about the guy, who is not on the Trump train. Look, all I see the president doing is calling out the biased media. And look, I'm not against the president or anybody in his cabinet calling out the media for what they are, very biased and very one-sided. No, you need people to do that. If you're not going to have people in Washington do that, which is very rare for Democrats and even Republicans to, call out the media for what it is. Yes, there are Democrats who agree with the president's cabinet on calling out the media for being very one-sided and biased. But don't expect them to get their jobs again, just saying. But yeah, even I call out the media for what it is, very biased and very one-sided. Most YouTubers do. But most of us YouTubers, we're a threat to the media because they know that we're calling them out on their bullshit. Anyway, it was startling observation from a sitting member of Congress against the President of the United States, especially considering McCain is a member of Trump's party. Okay, you have to understand, there are two types of conservatives. McCain is more of a paleo-conservative, like an Eisenhower Republican. And I like those types of Republicans, I do. Milo is, in a lot of ways, a paleo-conservative. But Trump isn't the traditional conservative like that. Trump is a new age conservative, and new age conservatives are iffy. Like, they could say something you will completely agree with, and they'll say something that says, hey, that's not really, democracy supportive. New Age conservatives can either be paleo conservatives or, centrist conservatives, which those are other conservatives I like. And then you have the extreme far right conservatives who are wishy-washy. Quote, I hate the press. The Arizona Republican told NBC Chuck Todd on Meet the Press, I hate you especially, but the fact is we need you. We need a free press. We must have it. It's vital. Yeah, that's what Trump's captain is saying as well. You agree with them, Senator McCain. You actually do. You actually said you hate the press. So do they. Anybody involved in Washington politics hates the press. But here's the thing, though. No one's disagreeing that we need the press. Yeah, everybody agrees that we need the press. But here's the thing. People like me, right-wing libertarians, and there are left-wing libertarians who are we're pointing out, we the libertarians are pointing out, that you need to be very what's the word? Oh yeah, bipartisan. Yeah, that's the word, bipartisan. You're not bipartisan anymore. You're oh yeah, biased. But he continued, if you want to preserve, I'm very serious now, if you want to preserve democracy as we know it, you must have a free and many times adversarial press. And without it, I'm afraid that we will lose so much of our individual liberties over time. That's how dictators get started. In that context, yes, there are, like I said, yes, there are dictators that do that. They start the press and then go for the civil liberties and all that. Yeah, there are dictators that do that. This is why America is in China. This is why America is in Russia. This is why America has the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution that protect our individual liberties. That protect our individual liberties. McCain has been a frequent critic of the president, particularly in the areas of foreign policy and national security since before Trump entered the White House. Yeah, McCain called Trump out several times before he won the election. But Mr. McCain, can I ask you something? What is so wrong with, how do I say it? What is so wrong with protecting our borders? What's so wrong with making sure that the wrong people don't get into our country? What's so wrong about that? Last time I checked, national security is important. Last time I checked, you still are an advocate for national security. But you supported President Obama in 2011 doing the same thing what Trump is doing now with a lot of these countries of concern. Trump is doing the same thing that Obama did in 2011. Now suddenly you're against the same thing that Trump is doing, that Obama did in 2011 to the Iraqis. The only difference is that it's a 3-month immigration suspension compared to Obama's 6-month immigration suspension. The only difference is in the months, but it's the same executive order. I don't see why you're against it now if you were for it in 2011. I don't get it. In the 2008 Republican presidential nominee said Americans must pay attention to history and understand the past connections between Russian governments and the efforts to stifle the media. Yeah, I agree. I'm paying attention to it. You know how stifling of the media happens? Obviously, Senator McCain knows how it happens. Obviously, I know how it happens. If you're watching this, you have no idea how stifling of the media happens. Here's exactly how it happens. First of all, you get the media to talk completely in your favor. And then after you get the media, the conservative and liberal sides to just talk about you and to not, bash you at all, then you get the media that's so biased to create cover-ups and lies for your actions that are bad, twist them to make them good stories about you. And who was the media in favor of during the election? It certainly wasn't Trump. It was Clinton. There would be a stifling of the media if Hillary would be president right now. And that's just objective truth. Because I've seen that, there were a lot of Trump supporters that, listened to criticism of Trump during the election. But whenever you would disagree with a Hillary Clinton supporter, you got blocked on Facebook or Twitter. Because they didn't want to hear anything negative about Hillary. Sound familiar to what McCain's saying about stifling the media and stifling different opinions? Yeah. McCain isn't wrong. This is how dictatorships start. But we would have been towards a dictatorship if Clinton got elected. Trump tweeted Friday, the fake news media failing New York Times, MSNBC, well, NBC News, MSNBC, whatever, ABC, CBS, and CNN is not my enemy. It is the enemy of the American people. Okay, Mr. President, is the media fake? No, they're real news. They're real news, except they're very biased. They're not fake news. There is fake news, but not in the sense that you're talking about. The New York Times isn't failing. NBC News isn't failing. ABC News isn't failing. CBS News isn't failing. And CNN isn't failing. And also, the news is not the media, it's not the enemy of the American people. This is where I vigorously disagree with you, Mr. President. The media is the people's friend. But in order for the media but the way for the media to be the people's friend again is for them to be honest. But yeah, you're right. The media as of now is not being honest on almost everything they say. But yeah, and I was actually going to talk about Carl Bernstein. Yeah, they add him in the article. I was going to bring. It's funny how CNN and I actually, at this moment, thought of the same person. CNN contributor Carl Bernstein, who won the Pulitzer Prize for reporting on the Watergate scandal, which led to the resignation of President Richard Nixon, called Trump's words treacherous. I want to follow him because I like the guy. I do like the guy. The most dangerous enemy of the people is presidential lying always. Attacks on the press by Admiral Donald Trump are more treacherous than Nixon's. In a sense, he has a point. Look, Mr. President, you can criticize the media all you want. President Obama criticized the media a lot. He trashed MSNBC in 2015. Yeah, 2015 at the Presidential Correspondents' Dinner. He trashed them badly. He said to them, well, I see MSNBC is here. It must be a comfort for them to know that tonight that they're getting more views on their network than they normally do throughout the week. He burned them badly. But see, here's the thing. While President Obama criticized the media just as much as you are, Mr. President, he didn't say outright that the media is the enemy of the people. You did. And that's scary. That's scary. Look, I don't think President Trump is a dictator. I really don't. But if you continue to say stupid shit like that, Mr. President, you might convince people that. Look, you can criticize the media all you want, but be honest about that the media, how important the media is. Don't act as if the media has to be abolished because you don't like what they're saying about you. Yeah, Carl Bernstein, in a way, is right. You know, what you're saying about the press is more treacherous than what Nixon said about the press. So, just want to get that out of the way. So, what else to talk about? Now, this is something that was done 2 weeks ago. And remember I said earlier how Milo isn't dumb? He's actually quite smart. Well, oh, yeah. I want to point out something here. The Democratic Party likes to see how Russia is taking over America, but yet you have one of the most liberal radio show hosts, Tom Hartman, on Russia today. You have a lot of these left-leaning people on Russia today. If you're so afraid of Russia, stick to Sirius Radio. So anyway, Milo, media legitimizes violence on conservatives. And listen to what he has to say here.
Riots last night at the University of California at Berkeley. You watched them break out live on this show last evening. The man who made that campus tremble joins us tonight in the studio for his first interview following the outbreak of violence. Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. Few people are hated more by the left than Milo Yiannopoulos, the gay Jewish immigrant who's become the face of the red for his own safety. What?
Okay. Look, I like Tucker Carlson, I do. But yeah, I made a video on this before. It astonishes me why people think Milo is this racist Nazi who hates people who are not white. Yeah, like Tucker Carlson said, he is a gay conservative Jew. Why would he be a neo-Nazi? It makes no sense. I just want to point that out again. It makes no sense why people would call Milo a Nazi even though he's Jewish. Let that wrap around in your head for a second. Have you ever met a Ku Klux Klan member who was Jewish? No. Have you ever met a neo-Nazi member who was Jewish? No. Doesn't happen.
Watch what happened. That was America last night. Great by editor Milo Yiannopoulos.
See, What you just seen there is what Berkeley students who used to champion free speech do. Someone who's lovable and likable. Yeah. Milo is actually lovable and likable. He's actually very silly, very down to earth. If people would just listen to him, they would know that he's actually very intelligent, but at the same time, though, he's not a hateful person. He's far from hateful. But that's besides the point. Those were liberals that did that to their own college campus. They vandalized their own college campus because they were mad because Milo was going to speak there. Who are the real fascists again?
Joins us for his first interview since we spoke with him by phone last night. Milo, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So here's the reason I want to talk to us. Not to endorse your views, many of which I agree with, some of which I don't. But the point is, you tried to express your views and were prevented by a violent mob. So if you were an anarchist or a Scientologist or a flat earth activist, it wouldn't matter. You were not allowed to exercise your First Amendment rights, and that's shocking. Give us first a quick recap of what happened last night to you.
Well, I think I agree with you in the first place. I mean, I'm not any of the things that these...
Yeah, I agree with Tucker Carlson. There are things where I agree with Milo a lot on, and there are things where I don't agree with him on at all.
Posters characterize me as an effort to legitimize the violence. But even if I were, I don't think it would matter, exactly as you say. So I went in to do my talk. We go in a couple of hours before to set up our tech and for me to, put on a costume or something. I had a wonderful outfit plan, which is the main reason I'm upset about yesterday. I was going to go to Native. I was going to talk about cultural appropriation in full Native American headdress. I had a full custom headdress with my name embroidered on it. I'm so mad that I didn't get to wear that. Anyway, we went in for like an hour or two beforehand. We were planning it, and suddenly there were these explosions outside. There were firecrackers and rocks being hurled at the building. The police were having things hurled at them. And I was evacuated up to the 5th floor, like by the fire escape. It was all very exciting. And then suddenly, I was being taken out of the building. I was informed that I was being evacuated because there were hundreds of protesters outside, blowing things up, hurling things at the police. The police didn't seem to me to be doing very much aside from hiding inside the building. The ground floor had been stormed, so we had to rush down to the parking lot, find one car, and that exit was blocked. So we ran to another car. We finally got in one, and I was, bundled in, put in a bulletproof vest, and whisked away. And that is the price you pay for being a libertarian or conservative on American college campuses. So what?
Yep, he's right. He's exactly right. If I were a popular YouTuber and if I were controversial like Milo, which I wouldn't be, I don't think I go for controversy, but that's besides the point. Milo doesn't even go for controversy either. To think about it, he's just... It's not getting a signal. It's not getting a signal. Which one? The living room. Hi, I'm back. I had to fix something. So anyway, where was I? Something. Oh yeah, I don't think Milo looks for controversy. Just his name is considered controversial. His ideas are considered controversial, but he himself doesn't look for controversy. He's actually quite a lovable guy, really, to be honest.
What's so striking is I have no doubt the average police officer does not sympathize with a mob like that. I just have no doubt about it. But the truth is they did not come to your defense in a meaningful way. The video proves it. You're affirming it now. Why?
Well, we don't know for absolutely sure. One thing I can tell you is that the mayor of Berkeley, who was sort of gleefully egging this stuff on yesterday, who today had to apologize for the usual leftist name calling of me today.
What did he say about you?
The usual slurs, this white supremacy.
Milo posts a lot of stuff on his Facebook page that when he posts his, Breitbart articles and all that, but that's besides the point. Milo posts a lot of pictures of himself with people of all different cultural backgrounds. Why would a white supremacist hang out with someone who's different from them culturally? They wouldn't. And this is when the liberal left knows they got had, because they can't defend that. Anyway, I'm going to put the video in the description box down below. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy. Like, subscribe, and peace out.